Dak Prescott is ready to go to bat for one of his top targets. The Dallas Cowboys quarterback plans to personally stress to owner Jerry Jones the importance of keeping wide receiver George Pickens in the fold long term. The Cowboys acquired Pickens this offseason, giving the talented former second-round pick a much-needed fresh start. Now in the final year of his rookie contract, the 24-year-old is putting together a breakout campaign in Dallas, hauling in 32 passes for 525 yards and 6 touchdowns despite CeeDee Lamb's recent absence. Prescott has been impressed by Pickens' impact and wants to ensure the front office recognizes his value. He intends to bring up the subject directly with Jones in a private conversation soon. "I've been a little busy, but I will," Prescott said. "When I run into him in that time of privacy, I'll make sure." Dak Prescott said he plans to speak with Jerry Jones about the importance of keeping George Pickens with the Cowboys beyond the season. "I've been a little busy, but I will. When I run into him in that time of privacy, I'll make sure." George Pickens exceeding expectations with Cowboys. The Cowboys landed Pickens and a 2027 sixth-round pick in May for a 2026 third-rounder and 2027 fifth-rounder. So far, the deal appears to be a major win for Dallas. Jones admitted earlier this week that Pickens has exceeded all expectations, both on the field and in the locker room. Jones also addressed the idea of extending Pickens and wants to make sure the team has room to make it happen. "He is doing more than we did expect or that we could have expected. What's really special is he's a real plus to have around the team. He's a real plus around his teammates," Jones said. "He's a great plus around those coaches. Those coaches really think highly of him, and so he's not only doing it on the field. He's doing it as a part of the team concept. That's very important and, in his particular case, should be noted. We'll weigh that. We knew full well that if things really went like we wanted them to go, certainly, we need to think about having some room available if we're going to pay a second receiver at that level." Pickens has been able to put to bed the narrative that he's a menace in the locker room, which was part of the concern after the trade. So far, he has been a productive pass catcher and a model citizen. He's a character. He's good. He brings a lot of energy and excitement to the team, Cowboys running back Javonte Williams said. "He's got a different personality, but I get along with him. I feel like everybody else gets along with him, so you gotta keep doing what you're doing." George Pickens open to remaining with Cowboys. Pickens has stated that his focus is not on his future, but on helping the Cowboys win games. Dallas has the most productive offense in the NFL, averaging 387.5 yards and 29.7 points per game. When it comes to an extension, Pickens would be happy to remain in Dallas. "I wouldn't mind it. The guys in the locker room are super cool, the energy is great," Pickens said Wednesday. "I always want to showcase my talents." The Cowboys' offense will get an additional boost this week with the return of Lamb. He's missed the last 3 games with an ankle injury. Dallas takes on the Washington Commanders at home in a critical NFC East matchup. The Washington Commanders will be without one of their most important offensive weapons this weekend. Head coach Dan Quinn told reporters Friday that wide receiver Terry McLaurin will not play Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys, according to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network. Terry McLaurin has been out since Week 3. McLaurin has been dealing with a quadriceps injury since Week 3. He was spotted at practice Friday, according to Nikki Javala of The Washington Post, but worked on a side field while the rest of the team participated in individual drills. After being listed as limited on Wednesday's practice report, he was downgraded to a non-participant on Thursday, a sign his recovery had stalled. The 29-year-old suffered the injury while diving for the end zone during a Week 3 matchup with the Las Vegas Raiders. So far this season, McLaurin has recorded 10 receptions for 149 yards. More Commanders injuries. McLaurin's absence comes at a difficult time for Washington's offense. Wide receiver Deebo Samuel has also been managing a heel injury and was listed as a non-participant on Thursday. He had 4 receptions for 15 yards in the Commanders' Week 6 loss to the Chicago Bears. Defensive end Dorrance Armstrong, hamstring, and running back Chris Rodriguez, calf, were also held out of practice Thursday. Tight end Zach Ertz returned to full participation after resting Wednesday. Guard Sam Cosmi, knee, quarterback Jaden Daniels' knee, and cornerback Jonathan Jones' hamstring were full participants. Getting Terry McLaurin back will be huge for the Commanders. McLaurin's leadership will be missed in the locker room and on the field. Rookie wide receiver Jalen Lane highlighted how important he's been during his transition to the NFL. "It's huge, man, getting Scary Terry back," Lane told 7 News DC earlier this week. "He's just a great leader for this team, especially for me in the room. So, it will be amazing to get him back on the field." Lane's comments reflect the general feeling inside the Commanders' locker room. Daniels has repeatedly emphasized McLaurin's consistency and impact throughout his career. The Commanders already placed wide receiver Noah Brown on injured reserve earlier this week due to a knee injury, further thinning the team's receiving core. Commanders face division rival without top target. Washington will now have to face a tough Cowboys team without its 2-time Pro Bowl receiver. The Cowboys' offense, led by Dak Prescott and a receiving group that includes CeeDee Lamb, who is also questionable, and George Pickens, is expected to push Washington's defense. The Commanders will need a strong performance from their remaining receivers and Daniels to keep pace. They will also be without running back Austin Ekeler, Achilles, and defensive end Dietrich Wise Jr., quad, both of whom were lost for the season in Week 2. The Washington Commanders and Dallas Cowboys play on Sunday, October 19th, at AT&T Stadium. The Dallas Cowboys have what some might think is a team capable of making the playoffs this season. A 2-3-1 record certainly keeps things interesting, but they're still in third place of a competitive NFC East division. Yet, with the NFL's highest scoring offense, tied with the Colts, the Cowboys clearly have a lot of potential. However, a defense that has allowed the NFL's second most points through 6 games is clearly a big problem. One known weakness is a defense that ranks 22nd in sacks per game, averaging just 1.8 per game. Of course, things would likely be much different had they not traded Micah Parsons away. Though, according to Sportskeeda's Tony Pauline, the Cowboys will be in the market for All-Pro pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. Finally, sources say they believe the Dallas Cowboys will be in the market for Hendrickson, assuming they are still in the playoff mix come November. The team needs a pass rusher. They presently own 8 picks in the 2026 NFL Draft, including a pair of first-rounders. Tony Pauline on Trey Hendrickson/Cowboys. If the Cowboys could trade Parsons for 2 first-round picks plus Kenny Clark, as they already have, and then turn around and end up with Hendrickson, they may indeed be a much-improved team. Yet, it greatly depends on the price they'd have to pay for Hendrickson, who's a free agent at season's end. For now, the Bengals aren't open to dealing until they're further out of the playoff picture. But after trading for Joe Flacco last week, Cincinnati still believes they have a fighting chance.